Welcome everybody for our city council meeting for November 9th, 2020. I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting to order. We'll start with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll go ahead and entertain a motion for tonight's approval of our agenda, please.
So moved, Sullivan.
Thank you.
Second, Huntington.
Thank you, Councilmember Huntington. Any questions, concerns, ideas, thoughts? Seeing none, Administrator Krugel, if you'd be kind enough to go ahead and do a roll call for approval of tonight's agenda, please.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Favelis.
Aye.
Councilmember Huntington.
Aye.
Councilmember Kirby.
Aye.
Councilmember Krogman.
Aye.
Councilmember Schleter.
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan.
Aye.
And Mayor Hay.
Aye. Next item on our docket, gentlemen, is our consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are considered routine, have been made available to the city council at least 2 days in advance of the meeting. The items will be enacted in one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the agenda and considered a normal sequence. We have 2 items tonight on our consent agenda. We have our city council minutes for October 26th, 2020. Everybody should have the 3rd version that was sent out later this afternoon just before our meeting. And we also have 4 Bravo or disbursement approvals through November 9th, 2020. Any questions, concerns, thoughts, ideas regarding our consent agenda items tonight? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Favelis, so move.
Thank you, Councilmember Favelis.
Krogman, second.
Thank you, Councilmember Krogman. Any questions? Administrator Krugel, if you'd be kind enough to do roll call to approve tonight's consent agenda, please, sir.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Favelis.
Aye.
Councilmember Huntington.
Aye.
Councilmember Kirby.
Aye.
Councilmember Krogman.
Aye.
Councilmember Schleter.
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan.
Aye.
And Mayor Hague.
Aye.
Very good.
Okay, and we now move on to our public comment. Public comment provides an opportunity for the public to address the council on items that are not on the agenda. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes per person. Persons wishing to make a comment must sign up in advance of the meeting on the sheet provided and identify themselves by providing a name and address. Administrator Krugel, do we have anybody that wishes to address city council tonight for public comment?
Mayor Hague, I did not receive any prior requests for public comment. We do have a few people in the audience. If you are in the audience listening in and watching, if you'd like to make a public comment, please raise your hand at this time, and we can get you in to make public comment. And I'm not seeing anybody raising their hand right now.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to go ahead and close public comment.
Sullivan, so moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Sullivan.
Krogman, second.
Thank you, Councilmember Krogman. Administrator Krugel, if you'd be kind enough to do a roll call to close the public comment for tonight's meeting, please.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Favelis.
Aye.
Councilmember Huntington.
Aye.
Councilmember Kirby.
Aye.
Councilmember Krogman.
Aye.
Councilmember Schleter.
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan.
Aye.
And Mayor Hague.
Aye. Thank you, Administrator Krugel. We now move on to our regular agenda for tonight. We have 3 items tonight on our regular agenda. The first item is 6 Alpha, the Sueur Community Center membership and indoor pool update. Administrator Krugel.
Thank you, Mayor Hague, members of City Council. The intent for tonight is to kind of give an update related to memberships at the Sueur Community Center, and then also to kind of give an update on the indoor pool related to a conversation about the budget that we're going to have at our next City Council meeting on November 23rd. So we're going to be looking at that. In the packet included some tables in there. One of the questions I received from almost everybody was, well, what are these numbers on the second indoor pool cost, the 100s, the 200s, 300s, 400s, and I answered that question. It's basically operational costs, different codes that are in our budget document, and kind of that just describes what you see in there over the years into each one of those codes. So as you can see, the bond payment, that's the specific thing, that $52,000 payment on that table. Really, that's what the portion of that $175,000 bond, the indoor pool is paying roughly 52 of that. So I'll circle back to starting off with the community center. The community center was closed per the mandate on March 16th, 2020. So I do have a visitor here, so I apologize. The Sueur Community Center then reopened to the public on September 1st, 2020. So that was via City Council. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. I guess I got some cake from the party. So membership payments. So what we did as a city is when we closed down the facility, we halted all payments, and that started on March 16th. So there was no revenue coming in from March 16th through September 1st, basically. So prior to the opening in September 1st, we reached out to all of the prior members with options to rejoin. And from that, you can see in the table that was enclosed in the packet, the main membership pool, not including the senior membership packages, we've had about a 39.6% rejoining rate right now. That's as of November 1st. I think what we did in our budget document was starting in 2021, we were anticipating about a 50% rejoining ratio. And I think we're on pace to see that. Really, we've had a mild fall so far, and really people start rejoining and using the fitness center more so as it gets colder and they can't do as much outside. So just to summarize that table, generally pre-COVID numbers, we had 359 non-senior membership packages and 246 senior membership packages. That was before the pandemic, before March 16th, 2020. As of November 1st of this year, we have 142 non-senior packages that are active. And again, that's 39.6% of the pre-COVID numbers, and 121 senior membership packages, which is 49.2% of the pre-COVID numbers. And again, we're projecting that we're going to see an increase in those membership packages sold as we get more into the winter and fall where it gets colder. We do have a couple of incentive programs that have rolled out or that are going to be rolled out, and one of them is a referral program. So we were offering some incentives for people to get their neighbors or people that they know in the community to join. And then we're going to be kind of rebooting our business incentive program. If you remember last year, City Council kind of looked at a business package where we were asking the businesses to do kind of the admin side, and we would bill the businesses one invoice, and then they would pay it. It'd be kind of part of their benefit package. We received feedback from many businesses in town saying, well, we think this is a great idea. We just don't want to do the admin side of it because there's a lot of moving parts to it. So we've kind of regrouped. What we're proposing to do this time for the business is just have us have the individual come in and prove that they're a member of a business in the community. They would then receive their business discount, which I believe is a 15% discount, and then we would then administratively contact those businesses to confirm or deny that they are still an employee at that business. So with that, you know, we have individuals, you know, at Cambria, at LSI, that might not be residents of the city of Sueur, that aren't tapping into the fitness center. You don't have to be a resident to go there, but they might not know about it. So this would be a good way to get marketing information out to those people who aren't members right now to try to drive those numbers up. So the business program and the referral program, we hope will help drive those membership numbers up and get us to, you know, closer to those, you know, pre-COVID, pre-pandemic numbers. Now for our 2021 budget, we're going to talk a little bit more about that with the indoor pool, but regarding membership numbers, if we hit 50% of what we had in 2019 or pre-COVID numbers, we will be on track as far as revenues go with the budget. Now, one of the biggest threats that we have right now is the potential closing of the facility due to COVID-19, you know, kind of ramping up and numbers increasing over the last week or two. So we're keeping an eye on that. You know, if we are mandated to close, you know, we'll discuss it at City Council and move forward with that. But that could be the only, or you know, there could be others, but that's one of the perceived risks that we have or threats right now to returning back to normal operations at the community center. So memberships are trending as we are anticipating, or I'll talk a little bit about the local groups that we're seeing at the community center. We do have the Wrestling Association using the facility. They're a new user right now, so that's good to see. That's likely driven because of availability in the area for some of their activities. The Basketball Association has reached out to use our basketball court as a potential practice site. Dance is returning, and the ice arena obviously is open, and there's Bulldog Youth Hockey occurring there, and we're renting ice. So, you know, we're seeing some new business coming into the facility, probably because of COVID-19 and the availability of resources in the area. So that is a good thing, and it's a community asset that we are open right now. So the memberships, recapping the community center, memberships are trending, I believe, as we anticipated. We were hoping by the end of 2020 to be at about 50%. We're at about 40% right now. So hopefully, if we are able to stay open, we can meet those goals and start 2021 at that level that we are going to project, and then possibly even gain on that through 2021. We have a new referral program and business program that should increase community participation in memberships. We're seeing some new groups using the facility. And again, the biggest threat that we see right now is the potential forced closure due to the pandemic, and we'll follow that very closely, you know, with the governor and what the state of Minnesota mandates. Before I go into the indoor pool discussion, is there any questions about the community center memberships that we've seen since we've opened up? We do have Allison Watkins, the recreation manager, online too. If there are any specific questions about operations that I can't answer directly, she's here to help out as well.
I'm going to go ahead and ask a question of our recreation manager. Recreation manager Watkins, have we looked at the possibility of adult hockey league or a broom ball league for our ice arena?
Good evening, Mayor. Thank you for the question. We have gotten some questions about adult hockey league, and we do want to bring it back. We had it in the previous years. I was just kind of waiting to see how the youth association handled coming into the ice arena, sanitizing everything. At first, we didn't have locker rooms open, so I wanted to see how that transition went with the youth coming into the locker room, sanitizing everything, look at our numbers, see if we had any outbreaks. So far, we're doing really well. And I didn't want to bring the adults in without the locker rooms open. Now that they are open, I expect to have adult leagues. I'm hoping later in December, early January.
Great. My second question, Recreation Manager Watkins, would be, now that we have the metrics as we do, and thank you so much for being able to get this so that City Council's informed on what it actually costs to run our community center and the various service centers associated with our community center. My question to you is, take something like the Silver Sneakers program as an example. I know in the past, we had situations where a particular individual might have been receiving multiple discounts, everything from a veteran's discount to a senior discount, a plethora of various discounts. Have we got this now all fixed so that an individual is only getting one particular discount? And do you feel confident that our new software is the answer to what we've been struggling with all these years, to actually know what our numbers are and what the costs are associated with the various service centers?
That is correct, Mayor. So in the past, people have gotten multiple discounts, and it was a problem with the software system and how the membership packages were built previously. That's all taken care of now. If a member has a discount, it is noted within the rec software with a tag. So say you have the business membership discount. We actually note that in the membership. So when we bring that person up to renew them or to get them their access card, it actually shows that they have that discount and nothing more is added to their membership. So they are only getting one discount at this time. And now I forgot the second part of your question.
Well, it was basically, I was concerned about the multiple discounts, and I guess the other part of that question was whether or not you feel confident that our software has the ability now to track all the metrics necessary to keep this console as well as future consoles totally informed on what the actual costs are by service center moving forward. Something of that nature.
I would definitely say yes. The rec software is definitely working the way we wanted it to work. It's putting out the numbers that we wanted to see that we couldn't see previously. I'm very, very happy with this rec software. They're also making changes to and updates to their software system as well. So I think it'll only get better from this point on, but I'm very happy with what we have selected.
Mayor Hague,
Thank you.
if I may.
Any of the other council members have any questions? Go ahead.
Thank you. 2020 is going to be a difficult year to develop any metrics. We'll be able to figure them out, but they really won't be representative of future years, we hope. But we will be able to break down those costs. But really, the data is going to be specifically used just for looking at 2020, probably not future years. So, yep.
Understood. Yeah. Anybody else from City Council have any questions for Recreation Manager Watkins while we have her on the line? I guess the indoor pool is the next thing, Administrator Krugel.
All right, thank you, Mayor Hague and members of council. As you're likely aware, there's been quite a bit of discussion about the indoor pool occurring at the Personnel and Budget Committee level. We talk about it almost every time we meet, really to try to figure out and dial in the proposed 2021 budget. The proposed 2021 budget will be presented to the City Council on November 23rd. We won't have the ability to adopt it because the public hearing, the Truth in Taxation hearing, is scheduled for December 14th, but we will be able to gather input. So if you have input leading up to that between the 23rd and the 14th, we're going to use that 23rd as kind of a dry run meeting for the budget. And then on the 14th, we'll be able to hopefully address any concerns that are made through that. The current proposal that we have for the indoor pool right now with a 0% levy, basically it's a 0.36% levy increase, so very, very minimal, is that 2021 would be a planning year for the indoor pool. So what that would mean is that the pool itself would not open up in 2021. We wouldn't have a budget to open it up in 2021, but we would use that to develop what we want to do with that area. And we could really do a deep dive into that, the operations of the indoor pool, what it costs the community, what kind of participation we are seeing or what we have seen in the indoor pool, and what we want to do moving forward. That could be an enhancement to the indoor pool. Maybe change up the use a little bit to be more attractive to various user groups. It could be repurposing that area, but really, and we feel that because of COVID-19, we probably will endure some sort of shutdown in 2021 or late 2020. So the pool itself will be forced to be shut down. But I think it's it'll be a good year to look at the pool kind of globally and what we want to provide as far as services go for the community. Now, that being said, I have gotten some comments from the public and city council members. You know, what would it actually cost to open up the indoor pool? So if you remember back in the preliminary levy, what we had in there was an 8% levy increase. Now that had some contingencies built in to it related to some health insurance and other insurances for the city that we didn't have numbers on. We have those numbers right now. But the current budget itself has the indoor pool not being in there as mentioned before. To open up the indoor pool in 2021 during those 9 months, basically it not being open during the summer months when the outdoor pool is open, that would entail a 5.01% levy increase, which equates, and this was a question that Councilmember Krogman brought up, I believe, at the Personnel and Budget Committee last week, was, well, what does that actually have for a monthly impact to an average house of $206,000, which is the median house in Sueur per month? And what that ends up equating to is $6.25 per month. So those are just some budget considerations related to the indoor pool. City Council will have the ability to choose to either, you know, use 2021 as a planning year, or open the indoor pool for 9 months, or anything in between we'll be ready for. We hope that we'll have some heads up between the November 23rd meeting and the December 14th meeting to come up with any of the viable options to consider for the budget adoption on the 14th of December. So moving on from the budget considerations, talk a little bit about the indoor pool usage. I went over these numbers with Personnel and Budget, I believe, about a month ago. What we ended up doing is we looked back at the lifeguard logs, which were written in a notebook, physically written in a notebook with a pen or a pencil, to determine what the usage was in 2019. Now there's a big kind of asterisk here saying, you know, this was information collected by lifeguards. It may not be entirely accurate. We don't know, but it's the only data we have right now. So right now, what that data indicated, we feel it's fairly accurate, but there were 2,496 uses in 2019. What that means is that there were, you know, basically 2,500 people in that pool throughout the year. Now that's not unique users. We've estimated just through experience that the majority of the use comes from 20 unique users using the indoor pool 2 times per week. So if you look at that, of the 2,500 uses, you know, roughly 2,000 to 2,100 or 2,080 of those uses are coming from 20 unique users. So that kind of narrows it down. You know, we have about 500 uses that are part of like open swim, things of that nature. So in 2019, the indoor pool operating costs were just over $250,000. We had revenues of $42,190, roughly 16.7% of the operating costs. The cost per use, basically taking that total operating cost and dividing it by the uses, is about $101. And then the revenue that we generate per use, you know, through memberships and day passes and things like that is about $16.90. So, you know, the gap between 101 and 1690 is what the tax portion is. And in the packet itself, you kind of see the different service areas and what the tax contributions are to each one of those service areas. And the indoor pool is the most significant one out of the 7 different programming area, or 7 different areas. So those are just some analytic data. You know, I wish we had better data. I wish we had, you know, demographics. I wish we had, you know, more granular data about the users. But this is the best that we have. You know, we were collecting it through the lifeguards in 2019. 2020, obviously, the pool's been closed most of the year. It was open up until November 16th, but we don't have, you know, good data throughout the year for 2020. Are there any questions about the indoor pool usage that we're seeing at this kind of these metrics that I just went over?
Yes, per this is Noel. I think you said the pool was open until November. You meant March 16th?
I did, yes, March 16th.
Thank you.
Anybody?
So it's quite eye-opening, you know, and there is no service area that, you know, we're making money on. Everything it has some sort of tax levy contribution. So don't be surprised that entirely, you know, that this is significantly funded through tax levy. Everything has some sort of contribution. So moving forward, again, just to recap, the proposed 2021 budget review will happen on November 23rd at the City Council meeting. The final budget consideration is in November 14th, sorry, I misspoke again, December 14th, 2020. There will be options to City Council to open the pool up in 2021 for consideration. And we're basically right now requesting any questions or comments from City Council about the indoor pool. You know, I think there will be possibly more questions as we have the discussion on the 23rd of November, and between that date and the final budget adoption on the 14th. But we want to just make sure that staff is prepared to propose any changes or any consideration of options that City Council may want to look at. So with that, I'll entertain any questions anybody from City Council may have.
Anybody at all? Questions for Administrator Krugel regarding the indoor pool, or to follow back on anything regarding the community center?
Jasper, this is Newell, Mr. Mayor also. I think one of the things we need to know is just in a broad sense, what the future capital costs for the pool would be. Assuming we continue operation in 2021, 22, 23, et cetera. What are we looking for in terms of, for example, major maintenance items? I know we're talking about maybe having a liner, maybe repainting it, whatever we'd have to do. I think those considerations also need to be factored in. If they're pretty much going to be stable, it doesn't matter. But if we're expecting anything large, we need to know that.
Yes, Councilmember Krugman, very good point. On the 23rd of November, we'll go over the full CIP, and there will be items outlined in there for the indoor pool.
For 2021?
Yep, correct. For 2021 and basically the five years from 2021 to 2026.
Anybody else?
Hey, Jasper, Sean Kirby, I've got a quick question. Our local pool is, have we explored every marketing tool we can to host, like, you know, swim meets or swim clubs or things like that with this particular pool? And it is not an Olympic-sized pool, is it not?
Correct, if I may. We have explored it with the school district. There are some lap swimmers. I think we have quite a few lap swimmers that like to come into our pool. I think mainly because it's considered, I think it's at a temperature where it's considered a therapeutic pool. So I think it's, and Allison's still listening, I think it's 85 degrees or there's some threshold that makes our pool warmer than other pools. So people enjoy it. As far as swim meets, you are correct in the sense that it is too short to hold meets in it. So you can't have competitive meets. You could have, you know, something that's non-sanctioned, I believe, but I don't really know of any groups that are doing that in the area. You know, we've reached out. I know Allison works with local recreation groups to kind of bounce ideas off as far as getting people to go to your pool. You know, really, you'll notice there aren't many communities that have indoor pools, and it's probably, I'm guessing, because of the things that we're talking about right now, just the financial considerations. You know, they're very expensive to own and operate, maintain, and really, you know, if we would have a lot of users, I think this would be a simple conversation, and you know, we wouldn't be considering some of the things that we're looking at if we would see more use and more revenue coming in. But you know, I'm open for ideas. I know Allison's open for ideas, and she's working on it, you know, trying to figure out ways to potentially market the pool in the future. And we've tried some things in 2019. I know we upped our hours and really boosted some of the posts that we've done on social media locally to try to get people to come in for open swim. But you know, really, we didn't see the response that we were looking for. So we have tried it. We are open to any ideas, and really, you know, at the end of the day, we want people to use that if we're offering it.
Does that answer your question, Councilmember Kirby?
It does, yeah. It's just, the pool's been a big landmark in that community center for years, and it's, you know, it's a great recreational tool to have, especially in the winters in Minnesota. You know, it'd be tough to close it. I mean, I look at these numbers, they're kind of alarming, but I'm just hoping there's some way we can generate more revenue and keep it open, of course.
I'd like to piggyback on Councilmember Kirby's question regarding the pool. Have we looked at what it would cost to go ahead and increase the size of the pool to where it would be considered something that would be able to be used for like high school swim meets, that type of thing? And is that something that we could maybe put on our radar so that City Council in the future would kind of know what that cost would look like, and perhaps have a conversation with the ISD to find out whether or not having a swim team or a diving team would be something they'd be entertaining if we had that type of pool and we could have the meets, as Councilmember Kirby refers to?
Mayor Hague, if I may, yeah, we can definitely look into that. You know, we've had those conversations internally, and you know, some of the numbers that we think are, you know, they'll be pretty large to do something like that. Related to the school district itself, you know, I could definitely have that conversation with Superintendent Johnson and see what her opinion is of that. Maybe get the athletic director Jeff Christ involved. You know, I think right now they'd be hard pressed to make any sort of commitment on that, because they're kind of you know, day to day with COVID operations and everything that's going on with the school. But I think it's good data to have, and we could look at what that would be, definitely.
Yeah, Mayor Hague and Jeff, right? I have one more quick question.
Go ahead,
How much?
Councilmember.
Thank you. How much is that pool utilized for like by the school for like physical education and things like that?
Councilmember Kirby, Mayor, Council, I think Allison, if you're still available, I think roughly about 2 weeks out of the year they have some usage there, but I may be wrong. Allison, are you available? Do you know what their actual usage is in a typical year?
You're right, Jasper. It's about 2 to 3 weeks that they rent the indoor pool, and then they switch off and then rent the ice arena for an additional 2 or 3 weeks. So depending on what the semester holds, it's either 2 or 3 weeks a year. But that's it.
Good questions. Anybody else? Well, I entertain a motion then that we receive the community center and indoor pool update as a council.
That's Councilmember Krogman, so moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Krogman.
Second, Sullivan.
Thank you, Councilmember Sullivan. Any final discussion? Administrator Krugel, if you'd be kind enough to go ahead and do a roll call vote on City Council receiving the community center and indoor pool update.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Favolis.
Aye.
Councilmember Huntington.
Aye.
Councilmember Kirby.
Aye.
Councilmember Krogman.
Aye.
Councilmember Schleter.
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan.
Aye.
And Mayor Hague.
Aye. Thank you. We now move on to our next item, 6 Bravo, the CASA 22 Service Assessment Role Certification. Administrator Krugel.
Thank you, Mayor Hague, members of City Council. Before you, with this agenda item, what we're looking to accomplish is to certify the amounts listed in the packet. You can see them here as well in the PowerPoint, related to the assessments related to service replacements along the CASA 22 project. Now, you may see this again for different property owners next year with the 2021 portion. We anticipate there won't be as many because it's a different type of area that we're going to be working in. But this area, as you can see, there's 6 of them, or 5 of them. Sorry, we did have 6. We did have 6. One of them has paid off their assessment before this. But really, what this is you know, as we're digging up a street, we're looking at what the service materials are. So the sanitary sewer service going to the main and the water service going to the main. And if they're not approved materials in state building code, then what we end up doing is we say, property owner, you're required per code to replace your service. Now that might be a pretty hefty, as you can see, amount that we're springing, we'll say springing on these property owners. And we want to give them an option to finance this through the project. And that's what this does. It allows people to opt in. They waive their right to appeal this. So they're basically saying, yep, you can do the project for this amount, and we'll put it on the assessment roll on their taxes, which means that they can pay this back, in this case, over 15 years at a interest rate of 3%. So it really helps keep the streets intact. The worst case scenario would be that we redo a road and then a year later somebody's non-approved material sewer service breaks, has to be repaired, and then we have to end up, you know, cutting the brand new asphalt in the road and digging that up, and you know that leads to future settlements and just, you know, a bad road conditions in the future. So we try to do this with the project. We did this in the 2017 project as well on North 2nd Street, and I believe we had a couple more than 5 total. So, but this is what we do is we allow them. They do have until November 15th to pay this off interest free. But in these cases, people have agreements in place with the city to basically allow us to put this on their property taxes. All this is all we're looking for tonight is just a motion to accept and certify the CSA 22 service assessment roll as described with a 15-year term at 3% interest. So it really does help keep that surface intact. It gives property owners additional financing resources if they need them as well. So with that, I'll entertain any questions you may have about this agenda item.
Anybody have any questions for Administrator Krugel regarding CSA 22 service assessment role certification? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion then to accept the 5 PIDs that have been listed and certify the CSA 22 service assessment role as described with a 15-year term at 3% interest.
So moved, Huntington.
Thank you, Councilmember Huntington.
Travel second.
Thank you, Councilmember Sullivan. Any final discussion? Seeing none, Administrator Krugel will be kind enough to do a roll call vote for the CSA 22 service assessment role certification for the 5 PIDs listed for 15 years at a 3% interest.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Favelis.
Aye.
Councilmember Huntington.
Aye.
Councilmember Kirby.
Aye.
Councilmember Krogman.
Aye.
Councilmember Schleter.
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan.
Aye.
And Mayor Hague.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item on our regular agenda is 6 Charlie, personnel actions. Administrator Krugel.
Mayor Hague, members of City Council, before you tonight are a couple personnel actions related to separation agreements, voluntary separation agreements with a couple of employees that we have. These are always kind of bittersweet because they usually involve some employees that you know, I've grown to really enjoy working with, but at times, you know, we're looking at budget constraints and we're looking at just operations in general. Overall, you know, pretty constantly. So if there's times where we can make some improvements and some efficiencies, this is one of the tools that we can use to do so. So what we're looking at tonight, and I have sent these out via email, I believe everybody has them, but I'll go over the terms with them in detail. related to this is there's 2 voluntary separation agreements with severance packages. These are very similar, almost exactly identical to the ones that were proposed and approved in 2018. Now, there have been some revisions by our new legal counsel to update them, but they are very minor and involving areas just to really solidify, the waiver of any future claims from employees to, let's say, bring legal action against the city. So just to really clarify those portions. We're looking at the public services technician, and then that position is proposed to be enrolled in the phased retirement option through PARA. So what that means is that this is an option that PARA, the Public Employee Retirement Association, allows for the employee to retire, to receive the PARA benefit, but then also to kind of phase out into retirement or phase into retirement over a period of time. And that helps the city. In this case, we're planning on rehiring or posting and hiring the public services technician position. And then that person can then help train in that new person, because really this public services technician, there's a lot of things going on with reporting, from anything with the airport to wastewater, water, electric. There's a lot of things going on that really, we want to make sure that anybody who comes in, they're big shoes to fill, and we want to make sure that they're able to do the work, and that'll be very helpful. The deputy city clerk permit technician position, right now we're not proposing to fill that, and we're going to leave that vacant in 2021. We do have that. It's not in the 2021 budget right now, so that the budget consideration for you'll see it on the 23rd of November. We'll have this consideration in it. Some details about how these things are calculated, if you're not familiar with it, or you don't recall what we did in 2018. The formula that we use to calculate severance, and I guess I will touch on, why do we even do these things, right? Because you might ask, well, why do we have to offer severances and do these separation agreements? Aren't public employees at-will employees? I've had extensive conversations with our legal counsel about this, and public employees are held to a different standard related to at-will versus right to work, and we're almost like a hybrid, kind of leaning towards right to work. The Minnesota Supreme Court has indicated that if you're a public employee, you require a reason or just cause why you're terminated, and that's in Minnesota. It varies from state to state, but that's why in general you'll see us when we part ways with an employee and it's before their choice to retire, we'll do these separation agreements just to really eliminate any risk of future litigation with these employees, which, in the case of the 2 that are being proposed, they're outstanding employees. There's hasn't been any issues with them at all. So I think that risk is low, but we still do it just to minimize that risk moving forward. So the way that the severance is calculated is you take the current weekly salary, so your annual salary divided by 52, and you times it by 75%. So basically you get 75% of your weekly salary, and then you multiply that by your years of service, and then that's the way your severance calculation is. Your PTO, that's indicated in our personnel policy that will be paid out if the employee is leaving in good standing. Both of these employees are leaving in good standing. The phased retirement option, again, will allow for the future public services technician to be trained in appropriately by the current public services technician. And again, the 2021 budget reflects these changes. I'll talk a little bit about the financial considerations of these, because the separation agreement with the deputy city clerk, the severance amount comes out to just over $26,000. The PTO just under $5,000, and their last day would be December 31st. The public services technician, the severance calculation comes out to just under $10,500, and the PTO at $2,352. So those calculations are in those agreements that I've attached. The other thing to consider is to actually approve the phased retirement option agreement, which is just allowing that employee to go into that agreement with the city to have that phased retirement. And what that basically, there's some guidelines in there, and it sets the amount of hours you can work per year, which is just above 50% of what you can actually work. And then it kind of just sets some guidelines as far as what their workload will be, and kind of how that they'll be able to come in and work at their own leisure for that 1 year. So I believe the phased retirement option that we have goes through 2021. If we look at expanding that, we would come with another agreement at the end of 2021 to extend that. We don't anticipate that needing to happen, but there is the option to extend that even further if we would like. So what we're looking at is we're looking for 3 separate motions for each one of the agreements. The one with for the deputy city clerk, permit technician, one for the phased retirement agreement and general release of claims for the public services technician, and then one for the phased retirement option for the public services technician. Related to the 2020 budget, this has been evaluated and looked at as far as the 2020 budget goes. This is something that we have contingencies built in that we can offer these, and they will have a pretty short, I'll call it, return on investment into 2021 for these to pay for themselves over time. So there are budget considerations related to these for 2021. They help us out meeting our goal to have a 0% levy, and operationally, I think they will help us out as well. And then as a general note, the employees that these are being offered to, it's voluntary. They've agreed to them. I can't speak for them, but they seem to be, they're okay with this happening. So I know that's always a consideration that I have and city council has as far as the relationship with some of our employees that take up these voluntary separation agreements. So with that, a lot of information to digest. Not much different between the ones we offered and approved in 2018, but we're looking to get 3 separate motions for these to be approved tonight. So with that, I'll entertain any questions city council may have.
Any questions for our administrator? Very good job of doing an explanation on this. Thank you. First motion then will be for approving the separation agreement. The city of Sueur employee. Let's see, I gotta just make sure I have the right verbiage here. One of them's called the public services technician. What's the other one called? Administrator Kugel.
Yep, one of them is public services technician. The other is the deputy city clerk permit technician.
Deputy city clerk permit technician. Okay. So the first motion will deal with the deputy city clerk / permit technician. To go ahead and execute the separation agreement with the city of Sueur.
Mr. Mayor, this is Councilmember Krogman. I move we approve the separation agreement and general release of claims for Deb Meyer with the terms included in the agreement.
Thank you. Can I get a second, please?
Huntington, second.
Is that Councilmember Huntington?
Yeah.
Okay, any discussion? Administrator Krugel, if you do a roll call vote for the separation agreement with the city of Sueur and our employee that holds the position of our deputy city clerk and permit technician for the separation agreement.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Favalis.
Aye.
Councilmember Huntington.
Aye.
Councilmember Kirby.
Aye.
Councilmember Krogman.
Aye.
Councilmember Sleater.
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan.
Aye.
and Mayor Hay.
Aye.
Motion passes.
So our second motion then will be to approve the separation agreement with the city of Sueur and our employee that's currently filling the position of public services technician.
Mayor Ag, Member Sullivan, I'd make a motion to approve the phased retirement agreement and general release of claims for Sherry Lemmer's position and included in,
Thank you.
all the terms included in the agreement.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a second, please?
Fabulous second.
Thank you, Councilmember Favalis. Again, Administrator Krugel, if you do roll call vote on the separation agreement with our public services technician and for the separation agreement, please.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Favalis,
Aye.
Councilmember Huntington,
Aye.
Councilmember Kirby,
Aye.
Councilmember Krogman,
Aye.
Councilmember Schleter,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Aye.
and Mayor Hay. Mayor Hay,
Aye.
thank you.
Did we get Councilmember Sullivan?
Yes.
Okay. And our third motion then will be to go ahead and approve the phased option agreement for our public services technician with the city of Sueur.
Mr. Mayor, this is Councilmember Krogman. I'd move to approve the phased retirement option agreement with Sherry Lemmer.
Thank you.
Fabulous second.
Thank you, Councilmember Fabulous. Again, Administrator Krugel, if we go ahead and do the motion for the roll call vote for the phased option for our public services technician.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Favalis,
Aye.
Councilmember Huntington,
Aye.
Councilmember Kirby,
Aye.
Councilmember Krogman,
Aye.
Councilmember Schleter,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Aye.
and Mayor Hay.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our meeting. We're now going to move into our comments, reports, and items of appreciation. And we'll go ahead and start off by, I'll go ahead and kick it off. I'd like to go ahead and first off congratulate Mayor-elect Sean Kirby for the city of Sueur. And I'd also like to thank Mr. Scheiber for taking the time to go ahead and run for office. I'd also like to go ahead and thank or congratulate Council members Schleter, as well as our two new city council members that have been elected. And just wanted to say that we've been having some trouble getting a hold of one of our newly elected council members, and I would highly suggest that you please go ahead and get in touch with our city administrator so that we can go ahead and make the necessary plans moving forward so that we can have a full city council ready to go in January. And I'd like to thank everybody that's taken the time to go ahead and run for public office. It's certainly a privilege, though it's a lot of work. And I certainly wish our future city council and our new mayor nothing but the best of luck. I'd like to go ahead and move on now to Councilmember Huntington.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Same thing goes for me, what the mayor just said regarding the election. I voted about 5:30 on that Tuesday, and I was number 1047. So I knew there was a great turnout that showed up to vote here in Sueur County. So congratulations to everybody who ran and all those people who tried to run it as well. And then I want to mention I have a meeting tomorrow for MRVT, is tomorrow, Tuesday at 2:30. And that's all for me.
Thank you, Councilmember Huntington. Question for you in regards to the HRA project. Now, are they going to be able
Yes.
to go ahead and do anything further this year, or is that going to be moved on to
It's coming along.
2021?
Well, it's coming along pretty well, actually. If you got by there, they're ahead of schedule right now. We have our meeting next Wednesday. I can
Okay.
find out. I'll find out.
Okay. Appreciate that. Thank you. Councilmember Krogman.
Yes, two things. The Planning Commission meeting will be this Thursday evening, and the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities meeting, to which all members of council and staff members could attend. It'll be a virtual meeting. Will be on the 19th on Thursday. It'll go from 10 in the morning until 3:15 in the afternoon. You wouldn't have to be there for everything. You can check the agenda, but I would suggest or recommend whatever that council members attend if they're able, finding areas of interest. I will attend as your representative the entire meeting. So thank you.
And Councilmember Krogman, is this something you'd also recommend to our newly elected council members as well?
I can't answer that because I'm not sure. Maybe the city administrator can answer. I'm not sure if they're able to attend if they're not in a current office. In other words, I think you have to be on the council, but we could check that out. If they're interested, I suggest they let the city administrator know and we'll check it out. So, but yes, I would encourage it if possible.
If that is possible, Administrator Kruger, it might be worthwhile to go ahead and send out an invite to our newly elected council members.
I can do that. I'll send it out to the two individuals and try to get a hold of them. And I will talk to CGMC as well. I don't think it would be an issue if they'd be interested in attending. I think we could make that work.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Favalis?
I have nothing. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Councilmember Sullivan?
As Councilmember Huntington spoke to, we have a transit meeting tomorrow. Other than that, last week we had fire commission, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago we had fire commission meeting. We had some conversations about equipment that's going to be needing to be replaced here in the future. Got updates on the 2 FEMA grants that we had applied for. Neither one of them were accepted. One was for the tanker truck and one was for SCBA's. So Jesse and Jasper, I believe, are working on a plan to replace that stuff. The fire department did receive a Lucas CPR machine from the county through the CARES Act. I think all the fire departments in the county received that. Then Jesse's also been working hard to get some other grants and just received a $3,000 grant from Compeer Financial, and they're going to be purchasing some battery operated fans. That's it.
Councilmember Sullivan, is this something, these grants that you said that we did not get from FEMA, is this something that the city can go ahead and apply for again in 2021?
Yeah, I believe so. It's something that they can apply for, I believe, every year. But unfortunately, I think some of this stuff needs to get replaced. It's coming to the end of its life. So it's things that from my understanding from Jesse, probably should have been being applied for, a few years back already, but it didn't happen. So working through it now.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilmember Sullivan. Councilmember Schluter?
I just wanted to put a thank you out to all the poll workers for their time and effort last week for the election. And that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilmember Schluter. Councilmember, or do I say Mayor-elect Kirby, you're the hammer tonight, sir. So do you have something for us?
Please, Councilmember Kirby, it's fine for now. I appreciate that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. First of all, I don't have any commission reports. I have not had any commission meetings since our last meeting. And lastly, I just want to take a quick opportunity to thank all those who encouraged me to step into this new role, those who supported me, and also those who believe in me. Lastly, I know our our current council and mayor and city administration will be a vital resource to me in the future. So I'm going to really need a lot of help from everybody around me. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart to everybody who believed in me and supported me. And I hope I don't disappoint anybody. Thank you.
I don't think that's even possible. You've done a wonderful job, and we look forward to having you as our future leader here in the next couple of months. Administrator Krugel, do we have any of your directors still online?
I don't believe so.
Okay, well, we go ahead and turn it on over to our city administrator for final word here.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Haig. Really, I want to echo the thanks to the poll workers, the election judges that really helped us have a successful election in Sueur. You know, they put in a lot of time and effort and really, put themselves out in a riskful situation to help guide that process. We do have an RPAC meeting tomorrow night that will be held virtually. We have a personnel and budget committee meeting on Thursday morning, 9 a.m. We also have, again, Councilmember Krogman indicated a planning commission meeting on Thursday night as well. And then we have scheduled a city council special meeting at 3 p.m. on Friday, and that's to canvass the election results. So we were hoping that we would be able to amend the agenda tonight and get that taken care of tonight, but those did not come through, in time, ahead of schedule. So right now we are planning on meeting at 3 p.m. virtually. We just need a simple quorum. So if there's some people that might not be able to make it at that time, just let us know and we'll make it work and make sure that we can get at least 4 individuals there to canvass those results. Other than that, don't have anything else to add. Thank you very much.
And that canvassing the results, that's Friday, you said, correct? At 3 p.m.?
Correct, Friday at 3 p.m.
Okay, and on Friday morning, I have to go to the center to certify this election as well. So, but I will be back for the afternoon to go ahead and do the canvassing for the election that was held here in Sueur. Entertain a motion for adjournment.
Huntington, so moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Huntington.
Schleter, second.
Thank you, Councilmember Schleter. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Everybody have a great week. Thanks for all your hard work. And again, congratulations to not only Councilmember Kirby, but also to our other members, Councilmember Schleter, as well as our 2 new individuals that will be joining City Council in January. Have a great evening, everybody. And please be mindful, we're supposed to be having possibly some snow. So depending on how that happens, make sure we all have our vehicles off the street if a snow emergency is declared. Thank you. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.